I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Cotton Candy Lucas joins us. Hi.
Hey, it's good to be here.
I appreciate you coming on. Could you introduce yourself for everybody, please?
Of course. My name is Lucas. I am a bunny VTuber who is based on on cotton candy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I am a variety gamer, so I play pretty much just anything, whatever I want to.
Mm. So, when and why did you get started?
But I got started actually very soon. It hasn't been long. I think I just passed the 4-month mark.
Mm. So, yeah, I mean, that's a third of a year. That's you've been going out for a little while. Has it been what you expected it to be?
That's true. It mostly has been, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, did you get started for a particular reason, or was it you saw other VTubers and wanted to give it a try?
So it's kind of both. Pretty much the first VTuber I saw and interacted with is someone named Limalicious.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of popular, I guess. Not one of the more popular ones, but pretty popular. And the way her rigging was done so well made me super interested in having a model that looked good and was rigged well.
Mm-hmm.
And also, because I'm disabled, I don't make that much money per month. So the bar of income that I need to clear to make more money than I currently make is very, very low.
Yeah, it unfortunately is in those situations. Have you been able to? And you don't have to answer any of these questions, by the way. But
Yeah.
Have you been able to make this at least a little bit of income for you?
Yeah, I've made a little bit so far.
Yeah.
I have mods and regulars that visit, and some of them have gifted me things. I have this big computer desk that takes up my entire living room wall, and that was completely gifted by someone.
That's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's good that you've been able to do that. And is that kind of the goal for you? Is it more of a goal to get more people in so you can maybe take it on as a full-time money stream, or is it to have fun, or both?
It's more to have fun, kind of. I mean, I do want the income part of it,
Mm-hmm.
but since I don't really do anything all day, even without the income part of it, I would probably stream full time.
Yeah.
I stream almost every single day right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just something that you has become a big part of your life then.
Yeah, at this point, it's most of what I do.
When you got started, was it did you have people that helped you along to get in, or did you jump in the pool yourself?
Surprisingly, pretty much just on my own. I didn't really know any VTubers or anyone that helped me get started. I already had some art that I had previously, which is my VTuber model.
Mm-hmm.
That art wasn't originally drawn to be a VTuber. It was just drawn to be someone that I felt comfortable representing myself as in written stories, because I did a lot of writing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took a lot of effort, but I had to find a very specific editor that was very good at their job to take my art and cut it so it actually could be rigged into a VTuber model.
Mm-hmm. That's work that people don't really know how it does. Maybe we'll do an episode, a special about that for people, because there is a lot of work and trial and error involved in that too.
Oh yeah,
putting something like that together. So you said you
the
were
new website VGen has made it a lot easier for VTubers.
Yeah. You said you were doing some writing. Have you? How far have you progressed as far as that goes? And have you always been a writer?
I kind of, yeah. On chat rooms and chat websites for the last, oh gosh, at least 16 years. It progressed to the point where I was almost writing full chapters of a book in like a single post, like posts that had 15,000 words.
Yeah. Is it? Are you wanting to put together a big published book, or have you already published some things?
I am not published. I've never written a full book, but it could be something interesting if I ever got further into VTubing or became more popular. Writing a book is definitely something that isn't out of the realm of possibilities.
So what do you like to write about?
Usually just kind of more like fantasy type stories, just crazy magic type stuff happening
Well,
and kind of everything about it, the action, the adventure, and then also the slice of life of it where you're just kind of living in a cottage with your family.
yeah, yeah. So you kind of bring the fantasy towards, but not all the way to reality.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this could happen if it was real.
pretty much, yeah.
That type of thing. But it sounds like it's pretty. It could be pretty captivating. Maybe you could do a series of short stories. I'm sure there's places where you can go for that. Um, and
That's
maybe
true. That's actually a pretty good idea.
some of those could be fleshed out into visual novel type things.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, writing just short stories and posting them.
Yeah, get some people to voice act them. Now we got something.
Maybe that would that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll let you trademark that one. You can have that because I'm too lazy to do anything like
Yeah, I don't even know if I have time to write. I could
that.
probably squeeze it in.
Yeah. What did you enjoy most about doing the writing once you've done it? Once you're done with something.
It's mostly the fantasy, kind of, but fantasy has a kind of different meaning for me
Hmm.
because I'm physically disabled. Like, there's a lot I'm extremely limited on doing.
Hmm.
So in these stories, even if it's just a story of a normal person living a normal life, that is still kind of like in the realm of fantasy for me because I can't really do that.
Mm. Sounds like me and paying bills. I should do a story on paying bills. That's,
Yeah, I definitely know the pain of paying bills.
yeah, but do you know the pain of not paying them? There's a whole different pain.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they'll hunt you down after a while.
Yeah, it wasn't fun waking up at 5 a.m. to a tow truck.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's even worse fun if you're in the car and you're still being towed.
Right?
Not that I would know anything about that, but
Go for a
um,
little ride.
yeah, I mean, a little drive through the country doesn't hurt anybody. But it's great that you've been able to, with this technology, uh, get out and entertain people and meet up with folks, even though it's you obviously are in a situation where you can't get around.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that part of the mystique of wanting to be a VTuber.
Yeah, it was a lot of it for me, being able to portray myself as who I wanted to be and not people don't have to worry about like if I look okay or if if I don't look great or if I look sick or anything like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I I was a radio guy for longer than when way before you were thought of as an embryo. So it's I know about being able to communicate without looking at somebody straight face to face. Um, you didn't find that a problem once you started interacting with chat? Was it easy for you to talk with the folks that were coming in with you?
Yeah. Um I've never really been like an entertainer, and I've always actually kind of had anxiety when it comes to like presenting in front of a class.
Hmm.
But this never really feels like that. And like it doesn't really feel like there's people watching me. It just kind of feels like I don't know. I feel like interacting with chat is I guess its own like in its own category of things instead of like presenting in front of a class.
Hmm.
It's always been easy to me. I before I figured out I was disabled, I worked like 9 different jobs,
Yeah.
and multiple of them trained me in like pretty good customer service.
Hmm.
So it's pretty easy for like someone to come in and for me to like welcome them or have something prepared, scripts, anything like that. It's just easy.
In a way, I've always looked at. Of course, I'm not a VTuber and never will be, but it looks to me like it's more personal this way than it would be in front of an audience. And
Yeah.
and for me, it might be harder to do something like that, even though I don't like being in front of audiences either. But it's you with this type of thing, you're more one on one with the people in chat.
Yeah, that's true. Most people that like send a message, you kind of have to respond to, and when there's a crowd, most of them won't try to interact with you, and if they do, you don't have to respond to them.
Yeah, it does make a difference in that as far as that goes. Have you been able to keep a number of folks to keep coming back to your streams?
Yeah, it's gone pretty well so far. Every time I stream, which is every day except Sunday, because I'm not dumb. I have a day off. But every time I stream every night, I stream on almost always it's Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube is the three places I'm streaming, and then I also stream on TikTok a lot of the time.
Ah, so you're everywhere.
Oh yeah, as many places as I can be. I try to reach them out. It just seems like the best idea for getting, the most, I guess, marketing out there to spread my name.
That's the perfect
Again,
word.
on Twitch, someone might be there and only see like 2 or 3 people in chat, but on my thing that shows like how many people are between all streams, it could be like 35.
Yeah, yeah, it does make a difference. Folks, watch your microwaves every once in a while. Luke will show up on there. If you hit the right buttons, you'll get Lucas's stream on your microwave.
Right?
Everywhere. Is it tougher?
I'm just lucky enough to have a good enough computer for it.
Yeah, yeah. Is it tougher to show progress when you're spread out like that because the numbers aren't going to be necessarily bigger for one particular medium?
Kind of. So I'd say like kind of. I'm not sure. I think if someone was like bigger, it would be that way.
Mhm.
But because a lot of people, Twitch is kind of where everything converges, or where I try to converge everything.
Mhm.
And it's not like super uncommon for someone to find me on TikTok and then be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go find them on Twitch, or the same thing with YouTube, or the same thing with Twitter. So they all kind of like, sometimes it can be hard to show progress because sometimes people just want to open it on Twitter and watch it there. And that could be, excuse me, that could be like 10 people watching me on Twitch instead.
Right.
But also that could just be 10 less people watching me because they didn't have the ease of access of just watching it on Twitter.
Mm. Is it tougher to interact with chat on different streams at the same time?
Yes. I have like a little bit of a way around it. So my system is like, so one, Twitter, that chat is completely turned off.
Yeah.
And if you go to most Twitter streams, you'll notice most people have their chats turned off.
Yeah.
And there's a very good reason for this. Apparently Elon Musk didn't think it was important to have the ability to moderate your chat. There is no way to stop any messages if someone sends the N-word in there. I have no way to delete it.
Yeah.
I have no way to ban them. I have no way to do anything.
Yeah. Or if they just keep
So
doing it. Yeah. Over and over and over and over.
Yeah,
and
I
over.
just disable it. I just disable the chat. No one can type in there.
Yeah.
And then for Twitch chat and YouTube, I actually have a bot that anyone that sends a message in YouTube, the message is relayed to the Twitch chat, and same thing for Twitch, it relays back to the YouTube chat.
That's
So
pretty
both
brilliant.
of those people can talk to each other. So that basically makes it a single chat. But the only thing separate is TikTok chat. So TikTok chat is separate from like the YouTube and Twitch chat. I have to pay attention to both of those separately.
Well, it's better than doing 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah, it's at least kind of streamlined.
Yeah. Now, when you're on streaming, what are you streaming for the folks? What's an average Lucas stream like?
It's usually games. I can be a little like ADHD
Mhm.
about playing the same thing for too long, I can just kind of randomly get bored and want to move on.
Hmm.
But I like to play story games. I don't really like playing against other people that much. I tend to be a little too competitive, unfortunately. So I just try to play games that are mostly like story. Right now I'm playing God of War, which is just all story.
Right. Still smashing stuff, but it's still story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but it's one where you're relying on yourself and not other folks to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't mind like collabing and doing multiplayer stuff, but generally I just don't have the temperament.
get into online fights because of
Yeah.
you're terrible. Why are you even here?
Yeah.
That's what.
I'm not great either usually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's when if you get a game like some of these almost party-like games where you're just going berserk anyway, like a Lethal Company or something like that. I mean, no one's
Yeah,
going for
I
the
actually
goal
haven't
anyway.
played that one yet.
Yeah, and nobody's really going for the goal anyway, so as well.
Right?
That's the outlier would be somebody who came in and actually did go for the goal. Like, what are you doing? Oh, you're actually playing the game.
True, yeah.
That's completely
Even
different.
in like games like Battle Royale games, most people are just trying to run around and kill each other.
Yeah, that's the truth. Anything that you'd like to stream that you haven't done yet?
I'm not sure. I don't I plan on honestly hitting a lot of games. Even some older games are games that I've been picking up and trying.
Yeah.
Though I wouldn't mind if I eventually have like other streamers that I consider close friends. Um I want to maybe try like playing games with them, maybe try playing just like fun co-op games or on the very rare occasion something like Apex and playing online against other people.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you tried something? What about a like a Jackbox game?
I know about those. That's kind of on my list of things to try.
Hmm.
I definitely plan to look into that in the future because they seem fun.
Hmm. Yeah. And again, if a game like that, if you're taking it too seriously, you're taking everything too seriously.
You're right.
It's like when you're a kid and you're playing a board game Sorry, and somebody gets mad because you took their piece off the board. It's like, okay, yeah, someone's really taking this game awfully seriously. Like my
There's
sister.
been a number of things I've wanted to try playing or doing, but I also feel like chat has to be at a certain level or have enough people in it for it to be fun enough, you know?
Yeah, yeah. When you do choose a game to play, are you choosing it because you think it's going to be fun for you to play, or you think it's going to be good to put on stream for others to watch you play?
I think it kind of fits into both.
Mm-hmm.
So when if there's a game, sometimes if that game is like really, really, really not popular, I know that there's like my reach isn't gonna really go anywhere for playing it. But at the same time, if you know, if I pick the biggest game on Twitch right now and I decided to start streaming that, like if I started streaming Apex, it would take someone a good minute or two of scrolling through other streamers to find me.
Right, right. Yeah,
So you gotta find like in the middle, kind of where they aren't like completely dead games, but there's like 200 to like 2,000 people watching it.
hmm yeah. It's supply and demand. You mentioned the word marketing before, and really that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's supply and demand, up to a point. But then once you get like say even if you were on, you had say 30 people on a Twitch stream, and somebody raided you with 100 people.
yeah,
I mean that's pretty cool. I mean now you've got a
yeah,
hundred people sticking around. But if none of them come back, now you just got a weird
yeah.
spike to, to mess up the
Sometimes
average.
you aren't just like what people want to watch. That's a lot of the time how I view it. There's been a lot of people that they kind of get really burnt out and have a really hard time staying motivated
Mm,
because, you know, they'll watch the chat and some days there'll just be less people or less interest or people who were showing up aren't showing up anymore and it could just be as simple as, you know, they you weren't their cup of tea. Maybe they
Right.
want to watch someone who plays other kinds of games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's still really, I think it's the personality of the person that brings people back. Um, and it's a lot like the old radio business. You could hear
Yeah.
you could hear the song on any station, but the person playing it, if you like them, you'll come back for them playing the song or another song maybe. Like
Yeah.
you
I try
mentioned,
to be charismatic when
yeah,
on stream.
yeah, you mentioned Apex. It could be 2,000 people playing it online at any particular point in time, but if they are watching you and listening to you and enjoying that, they'll come back to you no matter what game you're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the goal. I do have like a number of regulars that have started showing up almost every stream. So that's been really nice to see. I really appreciate my regulars, even if people are just opening the stream and kind of like sitting in the background and haven't chatted in my chat before. I appreciate them.
Yeah. So when you got started and you got rolling a little bit, has there been any point where you've hit a situation that made you question starting it in the first place?
Not really.
Well,
There's been it's been kind of what I expected, though I guess things could be a little more excessive than I expected. Because on top of doing variety in gaming, here and there, I've been trying to do like a stream or a segment where I go through like some of the bigger stuff happening on Twitter or just things that I'm interested in and talk about that stuff. So I end up kind of talking about drama a little bit sometimes.
hmm
And my God, I have never seen a like online community that is as massive as VTubers
hmm
act like it's one giant middle school. Like, oh wow, it
Yeah,
is impressive.
yeah,
Everyone stabbing each other in the back. There is like a 99% chance that the person that just messaged you trying to be your friend will stab you in the back.
that's
So
right.
it's like really, it's hard to know who's like a genuine person.
Yeah, that's true. And taking it to a very hyper realistic level, it's sometimes hard to know who is actually a genuine person and not just an AI.
Right? Yeah, that's been a massive issue all over Twitter. Even I'm constantly running into it.
Yeah,
Artists or, this person is scamming with AI and they've taken my art.
yeah,
There's a lot of that going around.
yeah,
So much art being stolen.
yeah. I actually tried to game the system by putting up a piece of Stickman art and telling the bots to choke on it. I don't think they did. They're still coming back. I didn't see no one stealing my art. I'll tell you that.
Right?
No one wants any of that stuff. So what's your goal now? You've got things going. You've got things rolling. Um,
Yeah.
you're enjoying yourself, obviously. It's a big part of your
Yeah.
life. Where do you want to be in a year, 2 years?
So I know like my big goals in the first year of VTubing are to kind of have like over 1,000 followers on Twitch, Twitter, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, like the big goal for VTubing for me, I have been in the same relationship. On September 28th, it will have been 11 years that I've been with my partner,
Hey, good
and
job.
I've lived with him that whole time. And I'd like the first year or two, I kind of tried to work, but then like my health kind of deteriorated, and now we're here 8, 9 years later, where I haven't been working that entire time, and he's been supporting me,
hmm
even with my VTuber stuff, all of my VTuber art, my model, everything is pretty much paid for by him.
hmm
And it's something I don't always want it to be like that. Having one income in a household nowadays in today's economy is just isn't it isn't great. There's not a lot you can do.
No.
So, and on disability, I can say this because this is like if you look it up, it'll tell you this. I think it's like $942 monthly
Right.
on disability for
Right.
being disabled.
Right.
So while most people say they need $8,000 a month to survive on streaming, which is a lot, and they're not wrong,
Uh,
I don't need that. My partner makes enough money, and I just need to make more than $1,000 to kind of reach my goal.
yeah. Yeah. It's people who cast stones on folks who are reliant on disability, I hope never have to deal with it themselves.
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah. My disability stuff started when I was 18, so I didn't have much of a young adulthood, unfortunately.
yeah. But the process is, even when you're further along in your life, is demeaning. It's
Oh yeah.
it's very it exposes a lot of you that you maybe don't want exposed, and you have to go through a lot of garbage to.
Yeah.
And
I remember the state where I was, they had a 14% approval rating for disability.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, I know because of a family member that's been through that, and
Yeah.
it and the result. I mean, it finally got through 3 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like exactly how it was for me,
Yeah.
although they found pretty much any excuse they could to,
Oh
not
yeah,
give me the back pay for that time.
yeah. They really, really wanted to do that, but it's very tough to do. And the fact that you now have this outlet and these media mediums, no, it's media, I think is right, to
Both.
express yourself and entertain folks, and enjoy yourself. This is something you wouldn't have had 20 years ago. Um,
Yeah, no. I mean, I think like 10 years ago, this is something that wasn't around.
yeah, it's great that you're able to take advantage of this, and it's great that you're able to show us what you got.
Yeah, I've been really lucky when it comes to being able to be a VTuber, just from like right as I started VTubing, able to replace the laptop that I started VTubing on with a like $2,000 PC that has some of the best stuff out right now. And
Hmm.
so a lot of that I've just been really lucky with, as well as finding people who are willing to help me on my path and my moderators and stuff like that. I've been pretty lucky. I am only 4 months in and almost at 1,000 followers on Twitter and like a few hundred on Twitch. I mean, I think I'm moving at a decent pace.
I think you are too. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure to talk with you. And when you get some big things coming up, let us know so we can update everybody, okay?
Of course. Thank you for having me. I loved being on.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.